Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show!
All right! Episode 305 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Bruce from Kong Screen Printing in Texas. Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I am the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today was Bruce from Kong Screen Printing. We've kind of talked, I think, on the internet a bunch of times, but I got to meet him face to face at ThreadX this year. So we kind of hit it off, and I would love to kind of have an interview with him and talk through his whole experience. It was kind of great. We talked a lot about our experience with now wanting to do outbound sales more. So we talked about that quite a bit. And then we also just talked about the experience of just kind of, you know, wanting to like have minimal amount of employees, but have like high quality of life, peace of mind, stuff like that was really important in this episode. I also want to apologize up front. I am very sick. So I might sound a little stuffed up in this episode. I'm sorry if that annoys you, but it is what it is. And I wanted to make sure I got an episode out for you guys, you know, so can't miss one. Even if I'm sick, rain or snow or shine or sickness, I'll be here. If you guys want to keep up on these episodes and get a little behind the scenes, you can sign up for our newsletter. Go to shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter to sign up. If you go to shirtshowofficial.com, I think a pop-up comes up where you can just sign up there. But it's usually me talking about my experiences and what the week meant for me. And then also it's got industry news from Printing United. It's got a bunch of shop hacks. It's got articles from some of the best people in this industry. So go check it out. Sign up for it. Also, you'll be the first one to find out about certain things. So it's worth it. This episode would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen, baby. Whether it's new frames or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. If you care about consistency, great registration, and buttery smooth prints, stop buying crappy screens and invest in the best. Learn more at graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. Frank's going to be at our Super Base camp. They should have had something come out earlier in the week about camp. Make sure you guys come out. It's going to be a great time. Let's be real. Reclaiming screens kind of sucks, but EasyWay makes it suck way less. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment are built to clean faster, work better, and save you some sanity in the washout booth. They're running a monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay is the easiest way. SNS is that behind-the-scenes partner that every shop needs. With one website, one purchase order, 14 distribution centers, and over 100 beloved brands, you can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Order your blanks the smart way with the ssactivewear.com. Is your art backlog piling up? Graphics Source has your back. Whether you're a one-person shop or running a large production team, Graphics can either be your full-time art department or your a la carte option for artwork separations. They also offer some of the best embroidery digitizing out there. Let them help you alleviate some of that stress. Be sure to check them out at graphicsource.com. For over 90 years, Stahls has been a leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they continue to set the bar, but they are the #1 in education on all things heat press. Be sure to check them out on YouTube and order your transfers, patches, and so much more at stahls.com. Ryonet has always been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. With rock-solid supplies, deep educational resources, and a support network that has your back. Ryonet has the tools and the knowledge to help you move forward. Be sure to check them out at screenprinting.com. If you guys are new to this industry or you've been around for a while, you just want to partner up with a bunch of like-minded screen printers, embroiderers, digitizers, whatever it is that's in this industry, we have a place for you. Go to shirtshowofficial.com/discord to sign up. It is a awesome community of like-minded printers. They can help you with anything you want, or you just want to shoot the shit with other printers. It's the place to be. Go to shirtshowofficial.com/discord to sign up today. I just want to say I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for listening, watching, however it is you take in this podcast. It means the world to me. If you could hit like, subscribe on whatever platform you're on, it helps the show grow. It is very meaningful for us. I'm sorry I have to ask, but I would really appreciate it. Hit me up on Instagram, shoot me a DM, send me an email, something. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. If there's someone you want to suggest for the show, or you just want to shoot the shit about printing, I'm here. I appreciate you all. Thank you. I'll catch you on the next one. What is up, dude?
Not much, man. How's it going?
Sick as a dog.
I heard.
I don't know how I'm here right now, to be honest. I'm probably in a fever dream.
Going that well, huh?
Yeah, dude. I feel a little bit like death right now. I'm very highly medicated. I got up Sunday morning with a little bit of runny nose, and then I was like, oh, it's fine. I felt good. And then by midday Sunday, I was like, yeah, I'm getting sick. And
Man,
then,
that's the worst.
yeah. And then Sunday night, I texted my production manager and I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be in tomorrow. Like, I'm home if you want to just text me or whatever. And then I got up in the morning and found out like half of my crew was out sick. And I was like, sweet. So I've been working at home in my sweat shorts and hoodie at my kitchen table for the last 2 days. And then I was like,
Nice.
Christina was like, we could just reschedule. Like, well, whatever. I was like, no, I want to talk to Bruce today.
I don't know. I don't know if it's that important, but
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is. All right. Just let me have it. Okay. It's my win so far today.
All right, man. Let's do it.
So how's things going for you? How was your day?
It was good. Yeah. Things here are going really well, surprisingly. It's kind of a weird place to be.
Can you elaborate on the surprisingly part, if you don't mind being vulnerable a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like with everybody, like the past however many years is always a struggle.
Yeah.
And usually this time of year is always a struggle. But the first quarter, we had a great first quarter, and we're off to a good April as well.
Yeah.
And so just trying to enjoy it while it's here.
It's kind of hard to talk about. I feel like I'm a little more open and vulnerable about it just because I have this platform, the podcast, or whatever. But like, it honestly kind of sucks. Like, it sucks to fucking be the only one saying like, hey, the last 2 years have sucked ass. Like, and I say that as an owner, like things are flat and kind of whatever. And it's, I've been going through and doing all my numbers and adding all these things up and looking at reports and whatnot. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I can see that basically every May for me is like double what April was. So I'm like, all right, cool. If I get to May, I'll be good. Like, whatever. This year's been great so far. I mean, as far as like more productive and more of an uptick than I feel like last year was so far. But still, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm finding it more now in being in the positivity vibes that I've been trying to do so far this year, that it's a good opportunity. It gave me a real shakeup. It gave me a real, let's evaluate the business. Let's do things by the book. Let's like look at numbers. Let's do all this stuff. I feel like if this stuff didn't happen, I wouldn't have done any of that. I would have just kept riding the wave of like, oh, I own a business and I get to print cool stuff.
Yeah, totally. Like that's, kind of through I would say like revenue struggles that we have. Like, we've always ended up pretty close to where we want to be, but as a business, both as an owner and like as a team, we have gotten so much better at what we do and how I feel I do, as far as actually being a business owner and running a business and understanding financials and different things that we're all doing impact the financials. And then being able to share that with the team, it kind of gets everybody on board. And I don't know, I feel even though we may not be as, financially like great as we want to be, like as a team and as people and as a, just personally how I feel, it's been great to, kind of get there through the struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I had mentioned it last week or something too. Like, I was having a conversation with Chris and it came down to like, yeah, dude, but like, we haven't missed payroll, or we haven't missed like, whatever, like things are still happening. Like, the wheels are still on and we're still going. So like, why are you so stressed out about stuff? And it's like, well, you have years and years of like excess and you're like, cool, I've got money to put away and I've got this happening or whatever. And then when that kind of stops and you just have money to like keep everybody here and pay the bills and keep the lights on and all that stuff, it's a little bit different. It impacts us because the plan changes. The plan used to be, okay, I'll save this, I'll do this, especially for me. Like, I live in an apartment across from the shop, like ever since I got divorced. And it's like my plan for the last 2 years has been like, oh, I'm going to build my house. And I bought the property by the lake and like all these other things. It's like, I'm not fucking buying a house right now. Like, there's no way in hell. Like, I'm not going to take all this money and like build a house and do all this stuff with all this uncertainty, especially the way the world is right now. Like talks of war and like all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm not like spending a bunch of money.
It's wild. Will Monday be around for this thing to come out?
I know. That's what I say. Yeah. It's just like, fuck it, whatever. That's why I said I got to talk to Bruce today, dude, because if I don't even know when I'm going to be able to. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, it's just, again, it's a lot of opportunity though, too. Like, I'm trying to, again, look at the upside of things. Like, going through and doing all the outbound that I've been doing recently is like exciting. And I kind of talked about it in the Ryan episode, I think, that just came out, where it's just like, I can't remember what he called it, but it was just like reinventing myself or my business or something. It's like, that's what I'm trying to do. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it.
What are the things that you've been doing as far as like outbound
crying
stuff or
well, I would say, I can't remember if it was pre-COVID or not, but I kind of got to a point where I noticed that being in business for, I think upstate's almost 18. So it was like being in business for this long, I realized like in the beginning we went really hard on like outbound and like contacting people, obviously, because you have to, you're a brand new business. And then like 6 years in or so, we got to the point where it was like everybody we had on staff in the office couldn't or didn't really need to do any outbound because every day we were fighting to just clean out our own inboxes. So then that was cool because you're just like living off of like repeat orders and then new customers coming from word of mouth and everything. But then at a certain point you hit a plateau or something of like, you've got the X amount of equipment, X amount of employees, X amount of staff. Like word of mouth is like a trickle at some point. It's not really like a growth thing. It's just kind of like, okay, like we're growing every year a little by little, but are we actually like doing what we should be doing? So I think it was like pre-COVID or something. I reached out to like Kevin Baumgart because I was like, hey, like I can tell my staff all day long of like, hey, this is how we should do outreach. This is how we should whatever. But like, they're just like, hey, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. And then you bring in an expert or something on the topic and sit everybody down and have Zoom meetings with Kevin. And they're like, oh, wow, that's very interesting. And I'm like, dude, like I've been saying this shit to you. Like, but anyway, having that was nice as it was like, confirming what we thought it should be. And then we figured out all these touch points and all this other stuff. And that was something I didn't really do. I didn't have like 7 touch points. It was more just like reach out to somebody, eventually reach out to them again, like all these other things.
You realize there's a process to it.
Yeah. You realize like you should have more of like a mechanical flow to how this works rather than, because I think a lot of people are guilty of like, oh, I found this, bowling league or something on Instagram and you reach out to them and you're like, oh, they didn't respond, like give up, see ya. And it's like, think about it on our side. Like I get emails all the time from like random companies or something. And I'm like, I might see that email once and I'm like, delete, fuck this. I'm not even going to read it. Totally. And then I see that email the second time and I'm like, who are these people? And then I get hit up on Instagram by them too. And I'm like, all right, I'll read it. And then you start a conversation like, oh, I actually missed out on this. This is a pretty cool opportunity. And then you do it. And it's because they reached out like 4 times.
Right.
Not because they hit me up once and that was it.
It's tough to put yourself in the position of like where the people you're reaching out to are at.
Yeah.
Because you just think, oh, they don't want to be bothered, or they, they didn't read it, or they just deleted it, and so I'm not going to try anymore. Rather than realizing you have to just keep going after it a little bit.
Right. It's a little bit of that like squeaky wheel thing, and it's like if you don't poke them or be annoying to a degree, then they're just going to go away. Especially me. Like, again, like I always try to step back for a second and think about like, how would I like receive this information? And I'm the same way where like, I need to get those like 5 or 6 emails from somebody or something and be like, fine, fuck it. I'll read it or I'll talk to you. I'll take the meeting. We get calls all the time where Leanna's like, hey, so-and-so Sue called again. And I'm like, tell them I'm not here. Tell them I'm not here. And then after the 5th time, I'm like, tell them to call my fucking cell phone number. You know what I mean? And then I finally have a conversation and then I realize it's either something cool or it's someone trying to sell me insurance or something. But again, like
it's useful.
They get through at some point, and it's like, it's just because there's a squeaky wheel. But anyway, like that there's that whole thing of like, just, you know, figuring out how to do outbound or whatever. But the other side of that coin is I spent a ton of money a couple of years ago on like SEO, Google Ads, Facebook stuff, like all this. I was like, everyone's like, oh, this is how you do it, whatever. Dude, I don't want to talk shit about it because for some people it works, but for me, it was not a good experience as far as, let me rephrase that. It wasn't as good of an outcome as I thought it was going to be. The people who helped me set it up were great. Like, gotcha. It's just that the kind of work I was getting from it was not the kind of work I wanted. Like everybody, we had basically like a quiz form and we put money into Google Ads. It was like, you know, $500 at a time, like quite frequently. And every inquiry we got was like, what's your minimum order quantity? You know, I want to do this like 8 color front, 8 color back with flaming tags on the inside. It was just like, dude, everything was just some like horrible clothing brand or something. And I was like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as Christina likes to say. Like, gotcha. It just didn't make sense for me. Like I was spending so much money to get tire kickers.
Man, that's good to know. We're in the process of figuring that out and kind of venturing down that path right now.
Yeah. Good luck. So, you're going to spend a lot of money.
Thanks. And that's what I was curious if you thought the bigger issue was the people you got or the people that you worked with to implement it, like to know kind of where the pitfalls were.
No, the people who were helping me implement it were great and they knew what they were doing. But the problem is I think, again, if I could go back and do it again, which I'm kind of in the thought process of, but like to a way smaller degree, like I can get there in a minute. But what I found is basically my money I was spending on the ads and all the paying the person to do SEO and like all these other things was like, what if I just took that money and I made like very like personal, like samples to send to exact clients that I want? Like, what if I just made really good sample boxes and I came up with like a Dream 100 list, like for me and whoever else was doing it on my staff, and been like, let's send them a box. Let's send them a shirt. Let's send them a handwritten note. Let's send them, you know, maybe even stuff with their own logos on it, like whatever. And we got way more response from that than we did from just an ad and a ClickFunnels thing. Like, but anyway, I don't want to be the one talking this whole time, but do you have, like, up until this point, do you have a process of outbound that you've been doing?
I mean, not anything consistent. Like we went through Kevin's program and took a lot out of it and away from it. But we haven't been able to really implement anything consistent in like an outbound program.
Yeah.
I think part of it is we took a long time to try to figure out whether we could have people do both, like kind of customer service and inbound stuff and both. But I think
I'll tell you right now, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. A couple months ago, we really figured out like it just takes a different personality and a different drive in that person.
I fought Kevin on that the entire time. Like he was like, dude, I'm telling you, you're going to need a separate person or a separate staff member to do the outbound. You're not going to get buy-in from your customer service people who are order takers. And I don't want to say order taker like it's a like it's a bad term. It's just like, that's what they do. Like they get emails, they take that information, they do customer service, which is great. And then they process the order. Like that takes a mindset. And then it takes a different mindset for somebody to just be the one outreach, like going after people all day long. So what I originally told Kevin, I was like, nah, dude, I'm going to have like 2 hours a day for each customer service person is going to be outreach. And he's like, all right. Nobody bought in. It was like, they were like, yeah, we'll do it. And it just never, like I could see the CRM that we built Nothing was ever getting added. Nothing was ever, I was like, nobody's doing this. I was like, this sucks. So again, I gave up on it. I was like, fuck it. Like, this isn't going to work. So I said, sales meetings over. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'll go back to the drawing board and we'll figure this out later, whatever. Like, it's not worth, again, juice isn't worth the squeeze. I was like, it's not worth doing.
Yeah. For us, people would, we would get some buy-in to do it, but then people would get busy. And It was just one of those things that was like, oh yeah, when we were slow, it would, we would do outreach and then we'd get busy and it would fall off.
Right.
And that's not really a way to build anything consistent and predictable.
No. So what I ended up doing is I ended up having a friend who was looking to do, be hired as a VA. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, this is going to be my outbound person. This is going to be whatever. And he was also the one who was running like our Instagram, like keeping me on task. Like, we come up with the content, we come up with the videos, whatever. We put them in a folder. And then he's the one that makes like regularly posted content, and whatever. So it's not like I hired someone to be like, just post random, like happy Easter posts and shit. Like, I think that's stupid and doesn't do anything. But it was more, he just could pull from the folder and I would even leave notes of like, this is the job. This is what we did. Like, write up a caption, whatever. But anyway, he was in the mix. He was in the Instagram. He was in the other social folders. So I was like, well, some of the touch points that we have here on like the outbound was to reach out on Instagram. Like, it was like email, Instagram, LinkedIn, phone call, email, phone call, whatever it is. I was like, how about you just start finding markets on Instagram and just hit them up? So he had like a list, like he had his own CRM where he was adding in all these people and he was like, they contacted whatever. And we found out that was huge. Like, just hitting people up on Instagram for us was like great. We were getting awesome returns. We were getting new interest, new customers, whatever. Yeah. Being that the market is kind of shitty last year and whatever, like, it was still low because everything is low. But in general, we were getting way more contacts from Instagram than we were from cold calls or emails or anything like that. So,
nice.
So yeah,
that's not anything that we've explored a lot. But.
Yeah, and I think LinkedIn works really, really well too. Like, when I have time, I'll reach out as the business owner because I think that's the most credible LinkedIn page. Hit up other businesses or just become part of a conversation or whatever. That's been really, I've gotten a few good orders from that. But again, I think it has to be like you doing it. It can't be like Susan at Kong Screen Printing because they don't have the background page or they don't have like any of the credentials. Because I feel like that's the first thing you do is you look at like, who is this person? How long have they been doing this? Authority
that comes with being the business owner.
Yeah, I think it's more like business owner to business owner kind of stuff. So I guess to wrap this up, what I found is that having the VA do the outbound when it comes to just like finding new contacts, adding them to a folder has been great. And he doesn't do any like quoting or sales or anything. It's just more like getting the attention and getting like the interest to want to order. And then he forwards it to an order taker, like an inbound person here, and then they'll finish the order. So that's been really great. But with getting kicked down a few pegs on this whole journey for me of like what to do, kind of where you're at as a business owner too, of trying to figure this out. What I found is that I really want to focus on like the customers we already have. Cause like more and more I talk to people and, read things about business and whatever, is it's like, there's such an untapped market with the customers you already have. Like, they already trust you. They're already in your system. They already have worked with you before. How about just find new ways to get them to order more stuff or to give them better customer service, or just be like, hey, what else do you put your logo on? Because I guarantee 90% of our customers might order shit from somebody else that's like, oh, I get my stickers from here. I get my patches from here. I get my whatever. And then they just order t-shirts from us because they don't know that we do these other items. So I feel like more and more now that I reach out to each one of these customers and say like, hey, we also do banners and stickers and tumblers and all this other stuff. They're like, oh, cool. And then they order that stuff from us. So we're getting more orders from the people we already have.
That's been big for us. Like, we didn't really start doing any kind of promo products until like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, same.
And that's been a big area of growth for us, of just being able to do more. for the customers that we've worked with forever. Like something that we've always done really well is just the service part and customer retention, and being able to let them know that we do more than just t-shirts and embroidery has been big.
Yeah. Before we get into that part, because I know there's a whole section on that, I kind of want to get your backstory. So
Sure.
Can you go back to
Oh man,
your whole thing?
how far back do you want to go?
Go to all the way to infancy.
All right. Well, I don't remember the first couple of years.
Yeah,
but,
me either.
I got started in screen printing just as a side job in college. I had an older brother who worked at a screen print shop, and I needed a job in the same college town, and so he got me hired there. And I think the first like 6 months to a year was just cleaning screens and working in the screen room.
Now, was this just I need a job while I'm in college situation?
Yeah,
or
totally.
was this like any interest at all?
This was just like I needed a job while I was in college. I had been working at I think I was working at athletic facilities, so like mowing lawns at the around the football field on the college campus.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a kind of a budget thing at the beginning of the school of the next year where they weren't going to rehire the students, and so I needed a job. And this was at the time it was called GTM Sportswear. It eventually got bought by like Hanes Champion, and then closed down a couple of years ago. But it was heavily in the collegiate market, and I started cleaning screens, then went to burning, then went to running an auto in the 2 years and some change that I was there.
That's some growth in that company, going from all of that within 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, I didn't know any different at the time. It was just, I think part of it was I showed up and did a good job.
You were a stand-up human being and not a trash
right?
pile.
Like I was a decent person, but I always loved it, and like I always felt good at it.
Right.
And so, flash forward 8 years later, after college, I was working in kind of like middle management and technology, and felt kind of stuck, and was naive enough to think I could start a screen printing business, and bought some equipment out of a dude's barn off Craigslist. And
that's always good, right? Like getting a random thing out of someone's barn.
Yeah, it was crazy stuff. Like I think the dude had home built the press. It had no micros. It was a 4-color 1-station press, and he had home built the dryer. He wanted to. I remember the guy told me he wanted to print on football helmets, and so he built a dryer with a heating element that could raise up like 18 inches, and that's the equipment that we started with.
So the equipment you started on was homemade equipment?
Yeah.
That's good.
It was
I hope you got a good deal.
I mean, it did the trick. Like,
yeah.
And
I remember when we first started, we had I'm an Arcano Max Trier at first. And then when we bought this building, we still were all manual. We got like 3 manuals, I think at the time. We were like, oh, we need a bigger dryer, so all 3 manuals can use the same dryer. So same thing, I went on like Craigslist or something and found somebody where they had 2 brown dryers in a barn, just like your barn find. Yeah. And it was like an hour away, and I had to tow like a flat trailer behind the car to go get them. So we got there and realized I could only fit like 1 dryer. Like I bought both because it was like you had to buy both situation. So I bought both, got one on the trailer, and I took some parts off the second one, like kind of the infeed and outfeed off the other one. And I was like, I'll come back and get this. I fucking never went back and got it. Like I was like, dude, I'm not going back out there.
Frankenstein them together to make them
so
work.
I basically just have like 1.5 dryers. And then the shitty part is like the guy I bought it off from just now has a dryer he can't resell. Like it'd be one thing if I left him an entire dryer where he could like sell that online again. But no, it was like I took crucial parts. So yeah,
You paid for
barn
them,
finds.
so-
I paid for it. Yeah, whatever. But now he's stuck with getting rid of it. But barn finds are fun. So
yeah. I mean, it did what it needed to do.
yeah. So did you have like any good luck printing on this press?
A little bit. Like, I mean, I had to teach myself to print manually because I had only ever run an auto before, and so like the first couple months were, you know, trying to find customers and teach myself how to print.
Yeah.
From a manual, and I ended up joining. There was a group in town called the Austin Screen Printers Co-op, and it's a communal space where they have screen print equipment, and you pay to be a member, and then can block off time to go use it. And their press was way better than the one I had. So whenever I had a complex job, I would go use that space.
Yeah.
And that's where I ended up meeting Ryan, who eventually became a business partner in Kong as well.
So can you tell me a little bit about the inner workings of this communal space? Because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's still around. I think it's probably set up a little different now. But basically they had a manual press. I think it was an M&R manual press and a dryer. And they had a dark room washout situation. And then they had several paper presses, and then space where everybody could store their inks and their screens and things like that. And
awesome.
there was just a calendar where you could go in and block off time that you wanted to use the shop.
I think in Binghamton I have like maker spaces and stuff, but nothing that's like dedicated to like artists or like printmakers or anything like that. So it's kind of cool to like have, like, why did they have this? Like, was it just for artists to make stuff, or because you were trying to have a business? So were you like doing customer jobs on these presses?
Yeah. And it was kind of a mix. And I think now that it still is kind of a mix of people who are, trying to start up, but don't want to or can't invest in a whole like shop, and people that just do it for, kind of artisanal vendor markets,
right?
Retail, things like that. And it's pretty unique. I don't remember what the genesis behind, the start of it was, but I know that it was unique and still is, and very useful to a lot of people to get into the industry.
Did you pay anything? Was it like a monthly fee or something to be a member?
I think it was either a monthly or like a quarterly fee, and I paid for a lot of it with in the original equipment that I had. It came with a big paper dryer, like with the things that flip up and down, that I didn't need and they did, and so I essentially traded. I think we worked out the cost to trade like a year membership. For
you traded a drying rack for a year membership. That's funny. That's cool though. I mean, that seems like such a low cost to be able to like have that space and get your feet wet with the business, I guess.
Yeah, well, certainly like, the equipment that it was pretty instrumental in, kind of my development as a printer, because the equipment was way better than anything that I was able to afford at the time.
Right.
And so having access to that allowed me to do a lot more stuff and get more customers and do better work early on.
So how did you meet Ryan there? Was he just another printer user, or did you guys like cross paths a lot?
So he was a like fine art paper printer by trade and education, and he was doing paper prints there. I was doing shirt prints, and I think he had a situation where he took on a job that needed T-shirts, and I took on a job that needed posters, and we asked each other for help, and started working together on that project, and started working together on other projects, and realized there was an overlap in a lot of what we wanted to do.
Right.
We had very different approaches to things. Like, our heads work very differently, and the way that we approach problems is extremely different. But where we want to end up is typically the same. And so we started working together and then formalized a partnership, a couple months after that, about a year after I had started calling.
I feel like a lot of partnerships, that's the secret sauce, is like, you're better at this part of the business than I am. Like, this one person might be really good at numbers and books and staying on task, and the other person's the dreamer. Whereas the person that does the books has no like artistic or dreamer to them. And it's like, all right, cool. I'll do this half. You do the other half. We'll never step on each other's toes, and we'll just like make this work.
Yeah, 100%. Like we, for the first couple months, we were both printing and working with customers. And we realized that we needed to kind of split that. And he took kind of front end, front of house, and I took back of house as far as production and him working in sales and customer service, because he has patience for days to talk to people, and like he can no matter what else is going on, he can sit down with a customer and give him like his full undivided attention for as long as it takes. And I don't have that in me. I just keep thinking about like all the things that I'm not getting done.
Right. Exactly.
And so it works. Like my joke for a long time was, if it were just Ryan, nothing would ever get made. And if it were just me, nothing would ever get sold.
Well, I feel like that's the best way to go about it. I had a partnership earlier on. I've talked about it on the show a bunch of times, but I don't think there wasn't an even split. It wasn't a personality thing, because I felt like I could have done both. I could have whatever, but his whole thing was just like, oh, being an owner is just like, I own this place and I get to make good money. Like, it wasn't like a drive or an interest. It was just like, oh, cool, I get to be like the last one here, first one to leave, like take holidays and just like print kind of. And he was like our worst employee too. It was like, you were the worst printer. Like, it was it was a big mistake that I learned early on, is to like not have a partnership. And then I've had other fall-ins with partnerships in my life too. And every time I'm like, I told myself I would never do this again. And then it just always happens to me. So third time's a charm. We'll see how it goes. But
yeah.
So you guys have a really good, I mean, obviously you're still partners. So is it kind of.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I guess that's the key to what you just talked about. That's always been the key for me, is like, there's certainly times where, like any relationship, right, it goes through ups and downs, and it is better and worse at times. But I think there's always a trust that no matter what decision we're trying to make or what thing we're advocating for, it's always for the like health of the business first.
Right. Not like an ego thing or that person's own agenda.
Not an ego thing. There's not there's not a lack of dedication, to the business. And I think we both know and trust that about each other very much. To know that, at the end of the day, whatever we're going for is for the benefit of overall benefit of us and overall benefit of the business. And that's why it's worked as long as it has. Yeah.
Were there other like key people or anything at this co-op that were like all helping each other, or was it more like one person leaves, the next person walks in kind of thing?
No, it was very much a kind of share and, everybody benefits and everybody kind of works together environment. And there was another.
I like the idea.
There was another dude in the same building who also had his own like screen print business, and he also was his name was Cody, and he was also super helpful to Ryan and myself and everybody else there, as far as giving guidance and advice on how to do things. And it was a really great environment and supportive environment.
Yeah, I think it would be a really cool thing, and it might be one of those where, like, say me or you has this business and we finally want to retire or be done with it or whatever. You're just like, well, I have the equipment, I have the space, like, and none of these people can be competition because I'm retiring or I'm done. Like, hey, I'm going to charge everybody, whatever X amount per quarter to come in and use the stuff, and have a co-op. I think that would be really cool. I'd be fearful of doing, I mean, it sucks to say, but like, I'd be fearful of doing anything like that now with like, oh, I'm just training up more screen printers to be in my area.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the other thing is like you're training people that you could look at it if you were still in the game as like you're doing vocational training, and getting people who could become good team members for you one day.
But that's the problem is they get people that come in that are like you or like me that are like, no, I'm on a journey. Like, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to whatever. And then you're like, fuck. But yeah, I mean, again, like I'm not doing it, so I can say that, but still, whatever.
Yeah.
So everything with you and Ryan, as far as like from beginning to end, is it kind of still been the same, not end, but like now, is it still kind of the same roles? Like you're more production focused? He's more office. Like, has that pivoted or changed at all over the years or?
No, like he still manages like our sales and service team and kind of, everything in front of house. And I still, manage stuff on the production side. And as far as like our org chart, that's kind of the way it rolls up. And then we kind of the higher level business stuff, we kind of split. Like I really enjoy a lot of the financial stuff, and that's not his strong suit. So I take that, and other aspects of the business, the business running it part, he is way better than I am at. And so, he takes those and sometimes that changes too, that there's overlap in what we want to do and kind of where our strengths are.
Well, we were talking earlier about like the outbound and all this other stuff. And it's like, so you are involved in like those processes as well?
I'm involved as a casual observer and, giving, input and guidance when Ryan and I, bounce ideas off each other and talk about it.
Yeah. That's what I was just curious on like how much of that, I don't know. Like I just feel like as owning the business and like the way my mind works or the way I find inspiration, or like even when I, met you at like ThreadX and stuff, it's like, I like being the one to go out and find the inspiration or the information and then bring it back and then like implement it. Like it would be hard for me to not have all the ideas all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or collaborating with a partner would be fun, but then when they don't want to do the thing that I want to do, I would be like, I'm just going to do this on the side anyway.
Yeah. For me, like, the idea part's a lot of fun, but I need somebody else to help with the implementation part.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably the same way. And so, it's not like one of us couldn't do it on our own.
Yeah.
Recognizing that and just knowing that, no matter how frustrating it can be of like, oh man, I really love this idea and I want it to work. And you're the only one that's on board for it. You gotta eat it. and
that's why I don't like the eat it part. I don't want to do that.
If you're the only one that's that gung ho about it, it may not be the best idea anyway.
Yeah. I think the benefit that I have though, all that being said, is like, I am the dreamer part of it. I am the one that's like, finds the ideas or whatever, but like my team here, like Bill and Brian and Chris are the ones that like help me implement all these things and tell me like, hey, this didn't work. There's a lot of ideas where I like find shit online, or I talk to another printer, or I see something at a shop and I bring it here and I'm like, hey, let's try this. And they're like, yeah, this is dog shit. This doesn't work. Or this doesn't work here. Like it might work there or whatever, or something. Like we're always trying new techniques or new processes or new, whatever. And it's like, yeah, this is cool, but this doesn't really work for us. And I take their advice. I take their advice. I'm like, okay, yep, that sounds good. Like at least we tried. You know what I mean? Like what I don't like is like, hey, we should do this, and they don't do anything at all.
Like the breadth of the business, like of, you got ideas to try things in production and in marketing and in sales and in the screen room and kind of
it's all the time.
Everything.
Never ends. Like literally there's something in each department all the time that we're trying out, or trying to get better detail in something, or trying out different like for example, like DTF stuff has been a constant, like, okay, let's try from this manufacturer. Let's try this powder thing. Let's try this this post press. Let's try this heat press. Let's try it on the auto. Let's try it over. It's just like, it's nonstop of like, let's try a better way to do it. And also too, like on press, it's like, okay, so-and-so wants us to try this new white because it's creamier or something. It's like, all right, well, let's try it, make it better. And it's always like, okay, like, is it better than what we currently have? Yeah, cool. All right, let's put it into production for X amount of time and see if that's actually the case. Like, it wasn't just a fluke with a test. And then, like print grip versus pallet gel kind of situation. And it's like, all right, well, which one works better? And it's like, okay, well, this one works great, but this one doesn't work for hoodies, or this one doesn't work for, polyviscose items or something like that. And it's like, all right, well, let's weigh the options, like what works best for each one. And it's just, we're always testing something. Like, I feel like we're never just like complacent with something.
I feel like if there was just myself responsible for trying to like give ideas and test things like in every aspect of the business, it would get spread thin and overwhelming real quick.
Yeah. But I think that's where like I come in, is like, if I've said this before, but like my shop runs itself. Like if I want to take a week vacation or 2 weeks, or I'm gone or I'm whatever, like it's fine. The shop's running. But the dreamer side of like me being here isn't here, which is fine. Like the shop will run, orders will come in, orders will go out. It'll be fine. But like the people that are here working, for the most part, I'm not saying they don't come up with ideas, but like for the most part, it's like they get the jobs done and they do what they're supposed to do, and they, troubleshoot and figure things out. But like nobody's walking in being like, dude, at ThreadX, I heard there's this new fucking robot catcher and whatever. And then, and then I buy it and implement it. And they're like, all right, we like it. We tried it, whatever. Like, that's what I mean by like, I come in with ideas or marketing things, or like, let's do this outbound thing or this inbound thing or whatever. Like, that's my role for the most part, is just like research and coming up with ways to keep the business fresh or growing or something. So I don't know. It's a weird thing kind of doing it by yourself, but I'm not really, that's the thing, is I'm an owner, but I'm not really by myself. Like when I'm with, my core management best friends who have been here with me forever, like I don't ever look at myself as like I'm above them in any way. Like they have just as much claim to this place, I feel like, as I do, because we've been doing it together the entire time and they know everything just as much as I do. But I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. That's so you've had like people there the whole time?
Yeah. Bill and Brian and Chris have been here basically since we started.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Well, they were my best friends in high school, and like we played in bands together and we did everything together. And then it was like, when I started the business, the first people I hired were my friends. So it's like, hey, I don't have any money. Do you want to come clean screens and like pay you, and we'll have pizza and we'll fuck around? And it was like, yeah, cool. Let's just do that. And then eventually you hire the next friend and you hire the next friend. And then it's like, okay, cool. But the thing is like my friend group is very good and responsible and not shitheads. Like, I feel like before that, I had random friends that were like, oh, this person's going to die eventually. They're a meth head. They're going to like do something horrible. And then this person's a partier or whatever. And it was like, this kind of core people are just like, we're just like nerdy friends, but like none of us like drink or smoke or like party or whatever. Like we have our own fun. Like we're almost 40 and we still fucking play like Xbox weekly and like get pizzas. And we're more like LAN party friends than we are like go get trashed and do stupid shit friends. But again, like they're all, super smart and super capable, and we all kind of run certain parts of the shop. And again, like I could leave or be out sick or go on vacation or something, and they'll handle anything. They'll be like, oh, we stayed till 9:00 tonight. We got this done. We did this. It's like, I don't ever have to question it. It just happens.
Nice.
So
it's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it has its own troubles too, of like, you can't really yell at your friends and tell them to do something. It's more, they'll just look at you and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And
that's, I don't know that you'd want to do that anyway.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's a harder dynamic than just being the boss and you have random people and you're like, do this or you're fired. It's like, that's not really how that works. So we kind of skipped over something real quick. I don't know if you want to touch on that. You lived in another country and were teaching people English.
Oh yeah. After college, I moved to China for about 2 years, and I taught English for about a year, and I studied Chinese for a year.
But that's why I kind of wanted to throw that back into I feel like we didn't even talk about it, because like most people don't do shit like that. What made you want to go to China and teach Chinese people English?
Kind of the same drive that was like, oh, I'm going to quit my corporate job and start a screen print company. It was graduating college, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Didn't know what to do next. My mom is a teacher, or was a teacher. She's retired now, and she had been to teach English for a couple of weeks in China one summer as like a way to keep up her teaching hours. And she's like, "Oh, you would love it." And so looked at it and decided to give it a shot, and ended up being a really transformative experience as a 23-year-old coming from. I grew up in a town in Kansas of like 1,000 people.
Right.
That's why Shanghai, which was like a city of 20 million people.
That's why it connects with me, is because the same thing. Like, I'm a small town kid and I grew up here, and I feel like people are always like, "Oh, you're always traveling, or you're always doing this," and it's like, dude, because I feel like I'm like gaining superpowers every time I go somewhere, because I'm like learning things or discovering things that I didn't even know were on Earth or something. You know what I mean? Right? It's just like, it's hard to explain. It's like this feeling of like, oh, hey, you went to the mountains or something, and it's like you experienced this, and it's like, oh, that's like life changing. Like, I'm going to remember this thing, or there's other people here, and you go to another country or on the ocean or something, you're like, oh, like this is different. Like,
yeah, I mean, you learn the world is a really big place and a really small place, like all at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. I don't know.
23 and 24 years old, like when I was there, it was very much a really crucial time in my development as an adult.
Yeah, but you also have to. You're nowhere near. You have no safety net. Like, you're not home. You're not near anything. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like going and doing that kind of toughens you up to a degree too. Like, you have to learn. Like, I'm not even around other English speaking people, or I'm like in another country, or I have to like fend for myself, or like make this work, or. But like, well, I mean, obviously it worked out, but
yeah, like one of those lessons though is like everybody there was so gracious and friendly, and so it's like you're out there kind of on your own, but everybody there, if you were in trouble, was very welcoming. People would welcome you in to have dinner after just meeting you. And so you realize like, oh yeah, like we're all just people like trying to get through this thing,
and for sure.
And you're really not out there on your own. Like, there's always people willing to help.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. In a nice world, it's nice, but like it still seems like people inviting you into their home and find out it's a weird situation is different.
Well, I mean, then that just makes a good story, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. As long as you live, then it's fine. So that had to have like impacted you to being a business owner to a degree too, right? Like, do you think there's anything from that experience that made you maybe better at dealing with clients or employees?
I mean, I think dealing with like weird, interesting situations, or things that just get thrown your way out of nowhere. Absolutely. I think the biggest thing, kind of in that realm, would be my experience in the kind of corporate world at the tech company. It was a customer service role, and it was very much a company focused on providing, they called it fanatical support, like really over the top customer service. And a lot of that I learned there became the foundation of the way that we have always operated at Kong.
What are some examples of how that was better for you at Kong?
So early on, one of our kind of like, I remember Ryan worked for like 6 months to get this customer. And at the time it was like and it was like an 800 shirt order, so like the biggest one that we had done, and it was on 50/50s, and the customer said they were going to come in for a press check. They didn't, and they just had to go ahead with it, and we printed them, and the color was wrong. They weren't happy with the orange on the brand color, and part of that was because the color they gave us was wrong, didn't match up. And part of it was because there was a little bit of dye migration. I think the general approach would probably be to, argue it for a discount, or argue it, well, like you said, you were going to come in for a press check. But kind of based upon what I learned and the way to approach it, it was just like, okay, we'll reprint it. But these are the conditions. You need to come in for a press check. We want to make sure we get this right. And we did. And like obviously took a big loss on that project, but 12 plus years later, they're still a customer. And we regularly print for them. And the response we got from them at the time was extremely thankful that we didn't try to make it their fault. That we just said, okay, like we'll redo it, but here's what we need to make sure that this is successful going on. And it's still a very successful relationship to, 12 plus years later.
I don't know. I agree with most of that. I think that it must be a Kong thing, because that was Andy's thing too with Shirt Kong, was just like, no matter the situation, we'll fix it, whatever. And that was like his whole like, oh, it's my marketing budget thing or whatever. But I struggle so hard with that at first, but I always give in. So it's like, I wish I would just get out of my own way and just do that right up front. Like, I think honestly, it's harder for me to get my employees to buy into that, because dude, every time someone comes back and says that something's messed up or something's whatever, like they're instantly like, fuck this person, they're so stupid. Like, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but I'm just saying the consensus is usually like, I didn't do this, totally, they did. And like, whatever. And then the hard part is that I walk over and I'm like, let's just redo it. Let's whatever. And then I feel like I get projected as like, oh, you're just giving in, like whatever. And it's like, but then I have to tell them like, dude, but like also like bad news travels so much faster. Like if you make an enemy out of them, they're instantly going to go on every social platform and be like, fuck this company. They screwed us. They blah, blah, blah. They did this. And I'm not saying that's just my motivation. Like I want to make them happy, but it's the reality is that it sucks to eat, especially with you saying like an 800 piece order or something, to just be like, all right, we'll fix it. Even though they gave you the wrong orange. Yeah. And like they didn't come in for the press check. You're like, oh, I'll redo it. And it's like, when does that end? You know what I mean? It's like, what I've had happen before. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But like what I've had happen before is I go out of my way and I fix that order, and then they just go somewhere else because they're like, oh, they're incompetent. They couldn't do my order right. Fuck them. I'm just going to go somewhere else. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it is like because we deal with the same thing of like, even now when something goes wrong, there's in talking with the customer service person who's dealing with it, it's like, well, I think this was their fault. This was our fault. This was their fault. This may have been our fault. It's like, it's not about determining who's right or wrong. It's about how we get through this situation. Do we want to keep the customer and keep the relationship, or do we want to be right? And ultimately, I want to be right. Keep the customer and keep the relationship. I mean, and then from the customer service perspective of like, that person kind of gets to be the hero, because they get to go back to the customer and be like, hey, maybe this was our fault, maybe this was your fault, but either way, we want to make it right for you, and we want to continue to work with you, for as long as you can be a customer. And so this is what we're going to do. And then it's our responsibility to make sure that relationship is maintained and that they don't go somewhere else afterwards.
Yeah. And again, I'm just trying to like play a lot of devil's advocate with this because I don't know. I feel like some shops it goes one way and some shops like yours go the other way. And it's kind of
Totally.
where do we meet in the middle and how do we make this work for both of us? Like what I would like if there was a middle ground too of like, okay, I'll redo this order and I don't know, is there some kind of discount code for like inconvenience thing for like, okay, on your next order, we'll give you X or something to make them want to come back to you. You know what I mean? Like what is it to where you know they're going to come back? Like, I don't know if there is something.
It's not always a reprint. Sometimes that is the solution of like, hey, like we'll give you X dollars off, your next order with this. It ultimately, we kind of leave it up to the customer to tell us what is going to make the situation
right.
Acceptable to where they want to continue the relationship. And we, it's not that we always just say yes. Like there'll be specific things that we require and push back on as far as, we want to make sure that we want you to come in for a price check for your next order to know that you are going to be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that way, and we know, and we're all good.
Yeah. My go-to usually is if like they blatantly messed up. And a lot of times they'll know like, okay, yeah, we just didn't look, or I didn't look at the mock-up. I didn't, whatever. I just approved it. And we're like, okay, we printed it. You messed it up. My usual go-to is like, all right, well, we'll just print it at cost. Like you buy the blanks, we'll just print it. Like,
yeah.
Cause what I don't want to do in all of these scenarios is rebuy the blanks. Like that's where we all lose is when I have to rebuy the entire order. But if they get a discount of like, only buying the shirts and then we were printing it for nothing and they are getting what they wanted even though they messed up, then I'm like, okay, cool, we're all on the same page. But like again, if I can just redo something that's like I'll redo it. I don't want to, but like on an 800 piece order, I feel like that's where I would be like, dude, like I don't want to redo this.
Yeah. I mean,
but
that one, that's the story I told because that one still stands out.
Yeah, it still stings. That wound is not closed on you. I can tell.
A huge hit. But it's also great because it illustrates that how well that particular instance worked.
Right.
Whatever loss it took at the time has repaid itself many times over in 12, 13 years.
I get it. I don't know. It's just hard because again, like I said, I'm a big softie where like at first I get bitter and I'm like, nah, I don't want to fix this. I don't want to do this because I know we didn't mess it up, whatever. But then I usually end up 99.9% of the time just end up redoing it anyway. So it's like, I wish I just had that mentality of like, nope, that's our policy. Let's just redo it, get it done.
Do you feel like you're like rolling over and like
100%
you don't want to do?
Yeah. I feel like a failure and I go home and I'm miserable and I cry and everything else, but
you just got to stop feeling that.
I can't do it. It's just ingrained. Like it's the whole thing of like a business owner. Like people are like, it's not personal. It's business or whatever. And it's like, dude, it's so personal. Like you work with this large band or something from like a garage band to now they're like blowing up. And then as soon as they blow up, they're like, oh, my management says we have to work with so-and-so. It's like, it sucks so hard. It's like, oh, this is super personal. What do you mean? Like I fucking drove your stuff to your shows. Like I worked nights and weekends to get this done. Like I did shit for free. Like that's where like all of this is personal to me. So when someone comes and like leaves a bad review or says something like an order's messed up, I'm like, I instantly take it as like a personal attack of like, oh, I have to fix this. Obviously I want the customer to be happy, but also like the initial sting is like, give me 10 minutes to fucking think about it. Like, cause right now I just want to be angry. I want to go walk the railroad tracks.
I definitely I feel that sting and that like personal part of it. And like, seeing customers that you've worked with for a long time get shirts from somebody else. It's like, like that specific situation of like when a customer is unhappy and figuring out how to make them, that's an opportunity to build a relationship and make them a customer for a very long time. If you can, if you can kind of be heroic and turn it around. And that's a really fun part for me. It's not about feeling sad that you like rolled over. It's like being able to just be
able to push those emotions down and then not feel them.
Like if you can take somebody who's really angry and yelling at you and like turn them into somebody that is like really super appreciative and a big promoter of your business, like that's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I know. I just don't trust people anymore. I'm just a bitter old man. So that kind of rolls a little bit into, I did want to bring this up, and I don't know when the appropriate time, I guess, is with that, is like, I went to ThreadX and saw you, but I also saw, the lady from Seddi, and she was talking to me about stuff. And then it was like, all right, well, we need to meet up, whatever. And I was like, yeah, but I was busy. I was traveling like a bunch of times and I was all over the place. And then Atlantic City happened, the same thing. She was like, hey, we should talk about this, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. So I ended up scheduling a meeting with them. She walked me through the whole program. And at first I thought, from what I heard, like industry wise, was like, oh, they make like 3D mockups, and they're doing it for, Gildan, Bella Canvas, like all these other companies. I was like, oh, cool. They're just going to make like cool high res mockups. Like that's what it is. And I was like, oh, it's interesting, but like, I don't know how far this goes. So anyway, I had the meeting with her and she started showing me, she's like, oh yeah, you can just like subscribe to this thing and drop the artwork on, and it makes the mockup. I'm like, again, I saw that. I was like, all right, cool. Like 3D mockup. And then it was like, all right. And then you could say it's done. And then showed me like the tech pack. And I was like, sold. I was like, it was that meme where I'm like, my card, like take my money. And then, the whole thing of like, oh, well, you want to see it on every shirt size. And like, you want to see it on, you want to add 10 more items that they're interested in. Boom. And it like populates on all of them. I was like, dude, fucking A. Like this is, again, I'm early. Well, let me get there.
All right.
I'm early in the stages of like, this is very exciting. I love the idea. This will help me out a ton. Take my money. And then she was like, oh yeah, like one of our early adopters was Kong. And I was like, fuck yes, I'm talking to Bruce in like a couple days. Like, I want to hear what he has to say. So tell me your thoughts.
Yeah. So I met Julianne, at, Seddi, the year before at ThreadX, and was super interested in what the software was, because we one of the things that we deal with a lot is like creating a mock-up. It's a guess as far as what the size is going to be.
Yes.
And there's always a lot of customer questions, and there's a lot of production questions of because we're, the mockups get approved and then they're going back and production is using that as a guide.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, hey, this, on the t-shirt and the mockup, it looks really big, but on here it looks really small. What do I kind of go by?
I'm going to pause you real quick, because that was our biggest bottleneck. Like once she told me that, I was like, this would be huge for us, because I guess some shops do it differently. I mean, it's like, it's all over the place on how people do stuff, but like, our customer service people do the mockups. Like some people, it's like, oh, we get the artwork and then it goes to our art department and they make the mockups, and then the customer service gets it back and they send it to the customer and everything. Each one of the customer service people here does all our own mockups, like has Photoshop, like puts the artwork on our mockup form. And our mockup form is all manual entry. It's like, it's basically a Photoshop template where like they go in, they put the shirt in, they type in the Pantones, they put the placement down, they put all these notes. And then they are the ones that send that to the customer. But the problem is again, like you said, it's a guess. Like I've made like literal we have shirts in the other room that have like dimensions on them, like long sleeves, like everything is like a visual aid for these people to be like, oh, this is how big a 10-inch circle is on the front. This is what a left chest looks like, all these things. But again, like on the fly as they're making these, it's kind of their own discretion. So like you said, the problem is they might put a more horizontal artwork on a shirt, and to the mock-up, I'm like, dude, that's like 15 inches wide. And the notes at the bottom are like, print is 8.5 wide. And I'm like, that's not what this is, dude. Like, it's not what this looks like. The customer's signing off on this huge print, but the actual size that you put in is like 9 inches wide. Then it's going to get made at 9 wide and printed at 9 wide. And then the customer's going to be like, hey, like this doesn't look right.
Yeah. So like it hasn't totally eliminated, particular like some customer questions and issues, but certainly internally the communication of like, hey, is this the size that it's supposed to be? Like our production team can just trust that it is the size that it's supposed to be, and it matches, and it does.
Right.
And it also has decreased a lot of back and forth in questions before it gets to the production side of going through mockups and things like that.
Because that was the cool thing, is that when you make this mockup in the program, you upload the artwork, but then you tell it, I want it to be 2.5 inches down from the neck, and I want it to be 10 inches wide, and it places it at that because it knows this is the distance on, say, like a large 1717. It knows where it should go and distance down and everything. So that's what blew my mind, is it wasn't just like a drag it over and place it where you want. It was like, no,
totally.
Give me your description of where it needs to go and what it's supposed to be. And then it makes it. And then again, like being like, oh, let me see it on every size shirt. It's like, this is what the print will look like on an extra small. This is what it'll look like on a 4X, like all the way through. And I was like this.
That part is particularly amazing in both on the customer side, but in the, with our salespeople trying to gauge, how big can I make this on a small?
Right.
The customer wants to make it as big as possible. And just being able to go in internally and look and see like, oh, I need to make this 12 inches wide is the biggest I can make this or whatever. Right. It's been a great tool. And particularly like when we started discussions with them, it wasn't really usable for us. Like the output was a pretty low resolution image, and we gave them a bunch of feedback, and they very quickly made a lot of changes to the software based upon the feedback. And so like the whole experience in working with them has been great.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing too, that she was talking about, was just like, we were not new to this, but like pretty new to where like we're changing things often, and we're willing to, upgrade things and like get your feedback and this and this. And I was like, dude, like just what you have right now. And this is a bigger discussion, but like kind of going back to what we were talking about, the way things are the last 2 years and like figuring things out and really looking into my business. One of the things I'm looking into a lot more is how do I stay lean and mean with the amount of people that I have and make their job better to where they can get back to customer service more, talking to more people, but I don't have to hire another person. Like right now, say I have Leanna at the front desk and she's doing mockups and invoices and emails and everything. And then she's like, oh, she'll come to me and be like, I have a huge inbox and I got through this today, but I'll get to the rest tomorrow, whatever. Like that's great, but it also sucks. Like I don't want her to not be able to get to people because she was so busy today that she has to do them tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be just as bad. Like you're going to have more shit tomorrow. It's not like it stops. So I'm trying to find things. That's why I was interested in like doing episode and talking to like, the AI people as far as like answering emails and whatever. And again, like some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. But it's like something like the Seddi thing. I was like, dude, this is going to save her so much time to just like upload artwork, make this tech pack, like get everything ready for us to internally and for the customer. And one other thing that's a bottleneck for her specifically is like online stores. And it's like, she can make an online store catalog of like, okay, this is the hoodie, long sleeve, pant, whatever that we normally use for an online store. You upload the artwork once and it populates all the items. And it's just like done. And I'm like, dude, that's going to save you a day. Like
there's so much work. Like one of my focus is like just always trying to automate the bullshit in somebody's job.
Right.
And if you can do that, then like it makes their job better. It allows you to grow without having to add people to do
exactly
ridiculous work. And so it's always a win, for everybody.
Yeah. And again, like I just discovered this like a week ago. So like I'm in this like Goldilocks, like, oh, this is going to fucking rule, whatever. So I'm glad that you say it's like, it's working out for you guys, because I'm going to do the trial period and like try it out.
We've been on since September, is when we started officially kind of using them for all of our, using their tech packs for all of our mockups and everything.
Yeah.
And, I would imagine, so all of our pre-press, both mockup creation and pre-press is done by Graphic Source. And so I think they probably have some issues here and there, but also they've been able to get on calls with Seddi to talk through them, and Seddi makes beneficial changes that make their work better.
So you've got Graphic Source talking to Seddi about all of these things.
Like we've had some calls where like I'm a part of them, but there's no like they've talked to get feedback from the people.
Right, but I'm saying your
day-to-day.
Graphic Source artist is using Seddi to make all your mockups and all. Yeah. That's awesome. So you've got resources talking to resources where your internal team isn't really having to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like I'm excited to try it more. And the cool thing is it's not just this like generated image. It's like actual scans of these garments and the colors. And when you do the tech pack, the background is like the actual shirt color and it scales and all these things. I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like,
and we don't use it as much as I think we could, but you can invite customers into a session to like have them look at the design and spin it around and look at the design across.
She told me
sizes.
that, and I was like, "You can just skip this demonstration. Like, give me the next thing. I'm not
not interested.
I'm not bringing them in on this. Like, I literally just want the functionality of like making our people's lives easier as far as like mockup creation, tech pack, all this stuff. Because again, there's just a lot of manual entry with that whole thing and guesswork. Like just the idea of artwork being to size to what it needs to be from here on out is worth it. I'm like, take my money. I don't even need any of this other shit that you offer. Just to where things are consistent, I would pay for that alone.
That one thing.
Right. I'd be like, all right, cool, we're done. Like, this is good.
Well, I'd love to hear, like, as you get into it, hear more about.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're constantly testing things. And I think this is something that I told her straight up. I was like, I get people all the time that are like, oh, you should try this new thing or this new product or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. As soon as she started telling me about this, I was like, done. Like, I was excited. I was like giddy. I was like, this rules. Again, I haven't used it yet, so don't take my word that this is the best thing ever. But like, it seems legit. Like, so far. And if you're using it and it's working, then that's some proof too. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying earlier on, I mean, we have a lot of similarities with this too, of like, we mostly just do like screen printing, but we're offering like embroidery or other things. And you said you added promo, which is very similar to us. You said like about a year ago or whatever, you started adding promo. Tell me about your embroidery situation, because it's very on par with what we're doing. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode so far. If you could take 2 seconds for me, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the episode so far. If you leave a comment and then put shirt after it, let me know what you think. I will pick someone at random and I will send out some shirt show swag. So if you guys could do that for me, that would be great. It helps the show grow. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Oh yeah. So we've got there's a local provider here who we've worked with predominantly for, again, since the beginning, like since we started offering embroidery like 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And our approach has always been like, Ryan and I were both printers, and our approach was always like, focus on what we know how to do well, and find good people to do the other things. And so, we've got a situation of couriers set up, and that we kind of do run daily couriers for all of our embroidery across town. And overall, like like anything, there's ups and downs, and there's communication challenges, but their work is always really good. And so we continue to navigate those as they come up, and I think it's been a good long relationship.
Yeah, like I had a whole thing on the show too, where I was going back and forth, and this was this whole story of my embroidery place is literally across the street, like right across the road. It's right there. And the original lady had it forever, like across the street. So I just basically I would email her with customer artwork, and I'd be like, hey, give me a quote on this. She'd give me the quote. We would, mark it up, do whatever, send it to the client. They'd be like, yep, cool. We'd order the garments, walk them across the street, get them done, bring them back, ship them with the t-shirts or whatever else. And it was like, cool. That's just what it is. And she was kind of getting older and wanted to retire and like all these other things, but there were certain things she wouldn't do. Like she didn't do like 3D puff embroidery. She wouldn't sew on patches. She was just kind of like, this is what I'm going to do. And I was like, all right. Well, it got to a point where we started looking at other places because I was like, I need someone to sew patches on. I need somebody to do this other styles. So we tried out a couple other places and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, cause everybody else we had to ship stuff to. Like for me, I don't have any other embroidery places nearby. It was like, oh, I had to ship it to Syracuse, ship it back. And then I was losing a bunch of money in shipping items. But then the lady across the street was going to sell and I was going to buy it. I was like, all right, I'm just going to finally bring embroidery in house. Like I'm going to hire somebody and she's going to train. And dude, I was like really, really ready to just do that. I was like, all right, we're going to bring this in house. And then I made her an offer. And the thing was, she wanted me to buy her book of business. And she wanted me to buy the equipment, buy the book of business, like basically buy the whole thing. And I was like, I don't want to be a dick, but like your book of business isn't worth anything. Like these are all local people that if you go out of business, they're just going to come to me anyway. And also like it's the age of the internet. Like any of these people can go anywhere and get stuff now. It's not like all the locals can just go here. They're screwed and can't get embroidery ever again. So I basically was like, I'll buy your equipment, but I'm not going to buy your book of business. And she said no, and then sold it to somebody else. But the nice thing is that somebody else is fucking awesome. She rules. I love working with her.
And you keep working with them after that?
Yeah. Like the new person bought it and then I was like, whatever, I'll just keep sending stuff to Syracuse. And the new person bought it and she's great. Like she's younger. She's hungry. She like is interested in trying new things and she's very quality focused and like hungry. And I was like, hell yeah, this rules. So she's been amazing. Nice. And she sews patches on. She does like whatever. And I was like, this is awesome. So now I'm like super stoked about embroidery and like this is where I'm getting with this is actually offering embroidery. Cause like for years and like our entire existence, we've done embroidery, but we've never offered it. It's always like someone's like, hey, I have 500 shirts and I need 20 polos or something. We're like, yeah, we can do it. And then we quote them. But like before you went to our website, it just was always said screen printing. It was no offering. We would never push it, promote it, nothing. But now that I have her, I really want to dive into like pushing it and being like, oh, we do embroidery and like posting more embroidery and like all these other things. Can you tell me your, I guess, experience with that? Because Christina said that that's something that's like booming for you right now is embroidery, even though you're not doing it.
It's definitely a growing part of our business and has been for the past, I don't know, year and a half. It's grown quite a bit. It just like seems customers want kind of a higher end, higher perceived value thing that embroidery is.
Yeah.
And every time we've looked at bringing it, in house and trying to do it ourselves, it just has never made sense. Trying to like both financially and from a like
mental standpoint,
quality of life perspective.
Exactly.
Either having to learn it ourselves or having to find somebody who knows it really well.
That's always been my holdup is like, it's so intertwined with like the screen printing industry and like making products and stuff that it's like so close, but it is a whole nother world. Like it's a whole nother skill. It's like a whole nother thing. It's not the same. So for me, I was like, I'd rather just focus all of my efforts on being a good screen printer because it's something like a screen printing shop is something you're never like, okay, I've mastered it and I'm done. Like I never have to learn anything ever again. Whatever. It's like constantly evolving. So I'm like, I don't have the mental capacity to learn an entire other skill right now and implement it in my business and trust somebody else to run it. So
like, I don't know. I feel like talking about the past couple of years and how good I feel about being a business owner and the way they run the business and how good of our team is and everything, taking on something that is most likely going to be a huge headache, like is not appealing
at all
in the least.
If anything, I want more peace. Like I would like less on my plate
exactly.
than adding to it. Yeah, for sure. I get that 100%.
Yeah. And if you can just like, I don't know, like again, like find a partner that is there and will navigate the challenges with you, then that's where I want to be with it.
So you're at a place where you're just comfortable with the outsource. You're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to ride this out until the sunset.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, when frustrations happen, and certainly like it impacts our team, it's worth looking into to see if we could do it better. But it's a whole, frustration X in communication may be solved, but there's a whole nother, bottle of frustrations that's going to open up. That we've always feel that it's better to solve this one than try to take on a whole bunch of unknowable frustrations.
I think that's something too that is changing the mindset with a lot of shop owners over the last 4 or 5 years or something, since like COVID especially, is like getting out of the mindset of like grow, like buy more equipment and have a bigger warehouse and have a whatever. Like, me and the people that I'm close to that are all looking for ways, again, to be lean and mean and downsize. You don't know how many times in text groups I get a text of like a week of like, dude, I'm totally thinking about just doing this by myself in my garage. Like, I'm so ready to just be like so much simpler, like all the time.
Yeah.
And the discussion more and more has just been like, let's just be happy with what we have and what we're good at, and then trust the next guy to be happy and good at what he's good at. Like, again, it's like right now the thoughts of people like with like this embroidery thing of like, I'm totally happy giving her as much work as possible and having her grow her business, and like both of us just be like very content with like, I do screen printing, she does embroidery. Like, let her master her craft with embroidery, and then I'm happy because I have a master embroiderer doing stuff. And let me be happy knowing that I know how to screen print enough to keep the lights on. Like, I'm totally happy with that. I don't need this mentality of like, I need to expand my building. I need to buy more embroidery equipment. I need to like scale. It's like, I'm done with that chase.
Yeah. I mean, like a question and kind of discussions that Ryan and I had a long time ago would be like, how big do you want to be? And I never had a good answer. Like, my answer was always, I want to be as big as we can be and keep the important things important. Yeah. And that changes over the years by being bigger and smaller, but ultimately it's about, my happiness and level of
peace of
stress
mind,
as a business owner. So there's no, I can't think of things in terms of like, I want to have 3 autos and 15 people. And I've learned kind of where those levels are. Like if we could keep, like 10, 11 people that we have now and continue to grow to, another X revenue, like that's where I want to be.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is my personal take, is like where I'm at in my life and where I'm at with business and stuff is again, same thing. I would rather have the 10 or 11 people, and I would just rather keep evolving the equipment and the processes that we do to make it to where those 10 or 11 people are super happy. We're outputting quality more than anything, and we're known for that. And we have what I want more than anything is just a full schedule with the amount of people that we have. Like, totally. I just want to be like, cool, we're booked up 2 to 3 weeks at all times. And I get in at 9, we leave at 5, we have fun, we do our thing, we're all paid, we go home, whatever. Like, that's where I'm like, peace of mind of like, cool, the business is running and people are happy and I have a paycheck. Like, I don't need to be like, I need enough money to buy a yacht. I'm like more, I want to make sure I have enough of everything to where I'm happy. And like, that's it. That's all I want. Like, when I buy things now too, like in my personal life, I buy things that are quality because, again, it's peace of mind. Like, I'd rather buy a new car and know I'm not going to break down on the side of the road than that's the most important to me, is like the stress relief. Yeah. Like, I like to know that I have enough money to where no matter what restaurant I go to, I don't have to look at how much everything costs and do math in my head. I can just be like, no, I want a tomahawk tonight. swipe my card, I'm happy. I get to leave and I got whatever I wanted. Like,
yeah.
that's all I want out of life, dude. And I'm like more and more just like, how do we be as efficient and quality driven as possible, but stay lean and mean? Like, that's all I want out of any of this anymore.
Like,
I don't want to grow anything else.
For me, like, I know for a while, I don't know exactly when, but like I realized, oh yeah, like everybody here wants to be here. And like there are performance things that come up and there are issues, but like we can talk to people on a human level about performance and coach them to get better because they want to be here and they want to contribute and do the right things. And that certainly hasn't always been the case, and certainly like definitely coming out of COVID, it was wild, and we made bad hires and things like that. But like I realized after a while, it's like, oh yeah, like this is where we want to be because we've got an awesome team that wants to be here, and if we got that, like I can navigate pretty much anything else.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I won't super get into it because people listen to the podcast or whatever, but it's just like I've learned things over the last set of years of like I'm putting certain priorities over other people and I'm people pleasing and I'm this and that and the other thing. And it's all bad. It's like, none of it is good for the end user. It's like, just nip it in the butt now, get it gone, have it be over. Like Christina brought something up earlier. She said she was looking out at a plant on her porch or whatever, like this bush or something. And it was like flowering but she knew she had to trim parts of it off to like properly take care of this thing. It's like, even though it's flowering and growing in this direction, I still need to trim it because it's better for the plant in general. And then she called me and was like, I had this thought and I just wanted to tell you because I think that's important. Like with you and your business is like, even though it might be flowering and moving in this direction or whatever, like you really need to like look at it as what's better for the business as a whole and like trim the things that need to be trimmed to make it like continue to be better and grow instead of just being like offshoots fucking everywhere and like chaos and everything else. And it's like,
that's some metaphorical stuff.
I know. Well, she just calls me with this shit. That's not out of pocket for her though either. It's just like random information that enters her brain comes
that's
into
awesome.
Like whatever. But it's like, it's true though. Like with any of this stuff is it's like for so long. And again, being vulnerable, like for so long, I was just this guy who wanted to fucking print fun t-shirts and have a place where his friends can hang out and we all make money and we're happy with our lives or whatever. But like to a certain degree, like you can't do that forever. You have to be able to take care of those people. Like I'm doing a disservice to the people who have been here forever by allowing toxic employees to be here, to allow bad business practices, to have me blowing money on stupid shit I shouldn't be, or looking at numbers that I'm not, and like realizing I'm wasting a ton of money where it could go back into the business or back into the people. Like there's all these things that it's like, grow the fuck up. Like at some point I have to do real business. I can't just pretend this is fairy tale land all the time. Like, yeah,
well, that's like, but that's the type of stuff that you have to mess up a whole bunch and do wrong.
Yeah. And I am a testament to that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I've been there a lot. Like, but
yeah.
Thankfully, like, I don't know, that part has always been like, that's one of the parts that I really enjoy, is learning and getting better at that stuff. Cause like especially for a while, like we would be a lot of people's first jobs, like out of college, out of art school, things like that. And being able to, like have a real impact, on someone in their first job and have them, one of the things that we would always say and still do is like, nobody's going to work here forever. Like we just want you to leave with more skills, a better work ethic, in some way, a better person than you did when you started. And obviously, like if you're great, we're going to do everything we can to keep you around as long as we can.
Yeah.
But and then seeing that pay off with like, people who have been through here that we got invited to live print at their wedding. and all friends who they had worked with here flew in from all over the country. It was like super special in realizing, the bonds that people have made at this place.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Makes you feel really good about, what you're doing as a business owner.
Well, it's different too. Like, not that you should have workplace romance or whatever, but like, there's been fucking people who met here that are married now and have children and like stuff like that. But also too, like, again, like going like with my friends that have been here forever, like we went from like punk kids that were in a hardcore band to having families and everything. And it's like, so sometimes you look at it and you're like, this place puts food on the table for them, like lets their kids go to this place, or, they have Christmas and holidays and pay their bills and mortgages and everything from this place. So then again, as an owner, it's like more stress too of like, fuck, I can't fuck this up. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's lives on the line now. But in the early stages, it was like, oh, we didn't get enough jobs. Cool. We can't have extra pizza this week. Now it's we don't have enough jobs. Cool. Little Timmy's got to sleep outside in the cold. Like, there's so much more stress now. That's what I'm saying. Like all of that comes to a head of like, okay, I need to be real with business.
Well, and that's where like realizing where you want to be as a business owner comes in of like, oh yeah, like I don't want to continue to grow the machine to where, I've got 20 people that rely on the business for that. Let's figure out how to do it profitably at 10.
Right. 10's a more manageable number where I don't feel like I have to walk into the lake until the bubbles stop. Like more than that, I'm like, you just walk into traffic. I don't know, dude. Like I'm like, that's the thing about this show and me and whatever is just like, I'm trying to learn all the time and grow and be a better person and be a better business owner and trying to whatever. Yeah. And
I mean, that's why it's a great show. Like, cause it explores that stuff. Right.
Yeah. Like, I just always feel like shitty and vulnerable of like, this is like, I'm not going to break down. You're going to break down.
You need help.
Yeah, I need a virtual. Well, don't virtually hug me because I'll get you sick. So anyway, before we get to the other stuff, you have an interesting story that you kind of told me at ThreadX, but the whole how I built this thing. Do you want to tell that story for the people who don't know?
That's it's not my story. It's Ryan's story, but I'll tell it for him.
Okay.
He was always a fan of that podcast. How I Built This with Guy Raz on NPR, and they put out a call for basically, guests, and he responded and went through several interview steps and kind of pre-interviews, and then did had like a 10, 15 minute question and answer on the podcast, which was pretty sweet.
But the thing is the way you told me too, is it was like edited in a weird way.
Yeah. So he did two different things for it. One of them was, he was just in like a waiting room, a virtual waiting room, and then had to listen, through audio of the other, 2 or 3 people going through their thing. And then it's just like, you're on. And he was like, just on camera, just like that.
Right.
But then the other thing he did was like a 2-hour interview with a producer that they then just chopped up into like a 5-minute question and answer with Guy Raz, where he just read questions out and they would play Ryan's responses back that he gave to the producer.
So weird. I couldn't imagine doing that. I don't know.
I saw a thing. It was an interview with John C. Reilly recently, where he talked about an interview with Bob Dylan that he did for Bob Dylan's XM radio show. And it was the exact same thing, where it's like, I never even talked to Bob Dylan. I just told stories about my life, and they chopped it up to make it
look like he was on the couch next to him or something, or across from him or whatever.
Totally. Like,
that's so weird to me. It's so like,
I guess that's the way when you get to be a big time. That's the way it'll work.
I don't want to do this anymore if that's the case. I like sitting down with you and having a real conversation, and it is what it is. I don't know. It's so weird. So anyway, like when you guys did that, what was the question, and did he get anything out of the answer, or was it just kind of generic business advice?
A lot of it was just kind of generic business advice. There was nothing.
I did hear it. I listened to it, by the way. So like I know what it was, but that was how I felt.
But it was still cool, and it was still, if anything, validating to know that some of the things they recommended were things that we were already doing and focused on.
Isn't that funny how that's so rewarding with, like I've done that before. Like I've talked to consultants or I've talked to certain people, and it's like at the end of it, you're like, this was worth it just to know that my thoughts were real and they're valid. Like it's like with the whole sales thing. It's like you kind of know, like you already know that you should be doing these things, but to have Kevin be like, oh, this is how you do it. Here's some nuggets of information you might not have known. And then this is the process. You're like, okay, cool. Like it's validating for me and for my staff to know that like we're on the right track. Like to me, that's worth the money.
I'm not totally off base in how I'm approaching this.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not in your head about it. And again, it goes back to the peace of mind of like, cool, like I paid this money. Now I have peace of mind that I'm doing it correctly. And then I feel better about the situation. I could sleep and not wake up in night sweats.
And we did have customers reach out to us who heard us and were, like turned into orders, which was super cool.
That's awesome. That's like the Shark Tank thing, which just blows my mind. Like me and Christina watch a lot of Shark Tank, and some of these people, and I had a guy on the show from Rupt who was like, we just wanted to be on the show because if you're on it, like I don't want a deal from anybody. But like even when you're on it, sales go crazy because all these people who watch the show now research you and they're like, who is this company? They had something I might want to use or whatever. And it's like, just the exposure.
We've got a customer who's going on Shark Tank tomorrow night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That'll be our second customer. Actually, so the same customer from the, 800 shirt order that we had to eat, went on Shark Tank a couple years later and got an investment.
Who was the investor?
Is Barbara?
Oh, okay. She's like the one I would want the least. Like, I kind of want a deal from Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark Cuban for sure would be fun. Like I feel, but the thing is like he seems the more like down to earth, like regular Joe who became famous and has a bunch of money and invested well. But like some of these guys are just like Mr. Wonderful is a dick, but he's just like, this is who I am. Like, do you want to work with me? I have this opportunity. Like I can get you in this thing. Cool. But he'll tell you straight up, like your business is a joke.
At that level, like you really want somebody who's going to be super tough on you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like he seems like an asshole, but he seems like a guy who's going to get something done too.
Right. All right, you brought me around on that answer.
Yeah. All right. I want to ask you some of these other questions. So this kind of ties into pretty much everything we talked about. And you didn't really know you were going to get into screen printing, and this kind of all kind of came together, and you're happy now. And we're talking about being business owners and whatever. Now with the way the world is and with everything, if you had to start over, like say the shop burned down and I'm not knocking on wood. I'm not trying to put this out in the universe, but I'm saying like everything goes awry and you have the opportunity to start over. Would you start over? And how would you go about it, like your business? Would you buy screen printing equipment, do the whole thing? Or would you work in your basement in your underwear and like outsource? Would you go digital only? Would you even bother? Would you just go teach Chinese kids on how to speak English?
What would you do? Man, I guess it would depend upon how well the insurance paid out.
It wouldn't. I'll answer that for you. It would not go as well as you wanted to
do something else. I mean, I think if you ask me that question different times, I would give very different answers. But right now, I would definitely start it again and come back.
Would you start it the same way? Would you have the same kind of equipment? Would you maybe take that money? Say you did get paid well from insurance and you wanted to start it again. Would you maybe turn things around where you're like, I want to be more on demand, or I want to get more into digital equipment. I want to get a Polaris and just scan shit and then have it print. Like, Would you do it the same way?
Like that's never been the model that Ryan or I have ever really wanted to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we'd probably, and we're trying to catch up and do more of this now. Definitely lean more into the technology side, and from a user experience and being more of a technology first company, with the way that we get orders from customers and having more of an online e-commerce experience. But I think we want to stay in, or I want to stay in the same kind of space that we're at.
Yeah, I agree. I think to build on that, the more I think about this question for myself personally is like, I would want to, I guess, build it this similar, but I think I would, like you, double down on how to have better customer service or have a better website or have a better approach to the customer side. Because I feel like more and more now, what's more important than production and anything is customer service and retention and like human interaction and like all this stuff. Because the people who are winning right now are the people who are like really good at that.
Yeah, I think like it's been weird. Like the customer service and focusing on the customer experience has always been kind of central to us. And what we found is in the past couple of years, largely due to like, just Amazon and buying anything online, the customer's idea of a really good experience and really good service has gone from kind of being able to, email back and forth and hold somebody's hand and walk them through the whole process, to wanting to do a lot of it on their own, and make sure that somebody is there to answer questions or resolve issues if something goes wrong. And customers now don't want to email back and forth to work through an order and talk through an order. They want to go online and do a lot of it themselves.
They want to be able to order those shirts at 3 a.m. in their underwear from their phone.
Exactly. Like while they're like sitting on the toilet, like they do anything else. So we're trying to catch up with where our customers are at and how they define a good experience. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the problem that a lot of us printers get into too is like it takes a really long time to get in your mind and get developed where you're like, oh, I have a very well functioning shop. Like I have screen printing figured out enough to where I'm comfortable. Like I have the right equipment, I have the right processes, I have like everything's flowing. I feel like the thing is we get into this and then we're thinking about how to get a better print and then dialing in the dark room and then getting a right press and getting this and this, that some of these things just you don't have time for. It slips, like this customer experience thing or the customer service or the whatever. And that's where it might pay to have a partner where you can focus on the shop stuff. The other guy can focus on all these other things. And again, like that's where I'm torn is like, I want to have good quality and I want to do these things. And my mind is in that mode. And then it's like, no, dude, you also need to think about like your website has said for design purposes coming soon for 3 years. Like maybe dial that in or like, I've been reaching out to Jared recently about like helping me fix my website and stuff. I was like, there's just like the important pages are there, but like we have a live printing tab that has literally said coming soon for like 5 years. And there's like other ones where I was going to put this whole thing with like designers we work with so that customers can pick or see like cool stuff coming soon with an hourglass for like 5 years. Like,
well, that's where I feel like people who come into this industry purely from a business perspective, like have a leg up in that regard. It's because like that part of it is their focus. Like being printers, like, for a long time, you're always just focused on the printing side and how to get a better print and how to, work more efficiently in production and things like that. And especially in times when there's more work coming in than you can handle, like you don't focus on that stuff. And that was where we were at for a long time. And it wasn't until, I don't know, like, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, where once the incoming work started to dry up, where we're like, oh, we really need to figure out how to do this sales thing better.
That's the same story as mine, dude. I know exactly where you're at. I get it.
And and it's, it's always a struggle up and down, but the learning part of it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
but again, that circles back to like what I'm saying is like, I'm trying to approach this year as like positivity first. And when I have that mindset, like, I know it sounds cringy and fucking whatever, and I'm not a crystal looking at like different astrological signs or anything kind of person, but like, I just think being positive in general is like a huge impact. Like just
Totally.
looking at every situation and being like, what is the positive side of this, or what is the way to like evolve from this, is huge for people's like mental health and like growth and like actually being inspired to do something. Cause if I'm in a shitty mood, or if I'm like down on my luck, or in like a just, I don't know, in a mood, like I don't feel productive at all. I don't want to sit at my desk. I don't want to work on a project. I don't want to answer emails. I'll sit there and just be like answering emails, but I'm doing it because I have to, not because I'm inspired and I want to do it.
Right.
So like most of it is like that mindset of like, okay, I want to fucking grow this thing. I want to do this right.
If you're positive and, working to do good things, good people doing good things that are positive are going to want to work with you. Like, you're just going to attract those people. And so it's going to, like, there's that old saying of like, you're the average of 5 of your friends. Like, not necessarily in any real sense, but like, if you're on a, grumpy, negative, like, those are the type of
people that'll attract,
customers and everything that you're going to attract. Like, and if you're positive and working to do good things, like, people are going to see that, and like-minded people are going to be attracted to it. Like,
so what you're saying is I need that like billionaire mindset to where those are the kind of customers I'm going to get.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a much better place.
I want to get in the mindset of people who order lots of shirts.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I want that to be my inner circle.
I've got a book I'll sell you.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Lesson you've learned so far, advice for your younger self. Do you have anything you would tell yourself before you started Kong? Now?
Man, I was like, I don't know if it's advice or maybe anti-advice, but like, a lot of times I'll think back and I'm like, man, I'm glad I was so naive about stuff, because if I knew what I knew now, and
you wouldn't be here.
probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so I guess the advice would be, don't listen to me. Like, do it anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that fully. I talk about that with my friends often. They're like, dude, would you do this if you knew that all the things? Like, to me, it's like the other stuff. It's like the taxes, the insurance stuff, like all these regulations and rules and all these other fees that you pay. Like, if I knew all that getting into this, I'd be like, fuck this. Like, I'm giving away so much money. Like, I had an argument with my money guy this morning, not argument, but like, I kind of told him how I felt a little bit, where it was like, we were all 401k. Like, I had all my employees getting 401k and I had this match and like all this other stuff. We ended up switching it to everybody doing, like IRAs or whatever it was. And, basically the switch has been a nightmare, because they're like, oh, you have to sign this form saying you're done. And then you have to fill out this questionnaire saying you're done. And then you have to fill out questionnaire number 6 that says you're done. And then this other company needs a questionnaire filled out and a statement saying you're done. And it's like, dude, how many fucking times do I have to tell you guys I'm done? Like, I just got another bill and they just took it out of my account from this one company that holds the funds or whatever. And I was like, I told them fucking 6 months ago I was done. Like, they're like, oh, you didn't fill out questionnaire number 8. And I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. Like, this is the shit that makes me want to be like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Cause it's all just a way to rip you off. Like, that's when I find out dude, this is going to get dark if we go down this road, but like, there is so much shit in business as an owner that you're just like, everybody is gimme. Like, it's just money nonstop all over the place. And you're like, why do I have to pay all of these things all the time? Like, all of these services, everything. It's like the electric bill. They're like, no, we want to charge you 5x what it normally is. don't pay it. We're just going to shut it off. Go fuck yourself. And it's like, it's stuff like that that just infuriates me where I'm like, why am I doing this? I could be living on a beach, like printing shirts on a shirt cart bicycle and like selling them for $35 and then just living life in a little apartment. Like
just a little beach bum.
Like who gives a shit? That's what I'm saying. It's like at this point, I'm not going, hey, positivity. I'm getting out of this mindset. I'm not going to talk about it.
Just let it go, man.
Just let it go. Just keep paying those bills, bro. Right. Don't worry about it. All right. Do you happen to have a shop hack or anything you want to share?
I think like for me right now, the biggest shop hack is in just like treating people well. Like I'd talked several times about how good I feel about our team, and that is usually the biggest stressor for me, is if like things aren't going well with an employee, and like just treating people right and having to be able to get together a good team, and like you said, like weeding out people who don't want to be there is, I think, the biggest hack that makes the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, I agree, because it all comes down to your mental state and the stress levels and everything else. And it's like, that's worth its money for sure.
And if you treat people well, like you can have the difficult conversations about things that may not be going right, like much easier than if it's a contentious, like negative conversation.
Yeah, because you're doing everything you can for them. It can't be, they can't possibly take it as like you're not trying. Like you're like, I'm giving you every opportunity to succeed here. Right. Why is this happening? All right, this is the question I've been waiting to ask you this entire time: is how the fuck do I get into this club where you get to watch a movie every week? Because
man, you want to join the club?
100%.
So it's once a week. We start at 9:00 Central, and then we all pick a movie and start it at the same time. And then,
so it's the same movie, right?
Yeah. So we're all watching the same movie, and then it's typically 3 other guys, and sometimes if somebody's gone, like we'll drop out for a week, but then we'll all text about it while the movie's going on.
Oh, hell yeah.
We started at the beginning of COVID and we're like 300 and some movies in now. I
love it so much. It's so good. It's like your own, it's like your own letterbox crew.
Yeah. Like we didn't rate them. Like we realized like, a long way in that we should be doing that. But there's been so many good and terrible movies that I never would have seen if it weren't for that. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Watched the Terminator series all the way through, which we felt was a big accomplishment.
Did you do them back to back, like T1, T2, T3? There's a lot of Terminators. All the way through.
Yeah, like it was almost 2 months.
Of Terminator.
Yeah.
And then you had to go through Salvation, and you were like, oh. Why are they still making these movies?
There was little stinkers in the middle, but some of them, like the last one, was surprisingly decent.
Yeah, I like them.
I never would have cared to have watched that if it weren't for that. And there's a lot of movies like that.
That's awesome. What genres do you guys do mostly, or is it all over the board?
It's all over the board. Like somebody will usually like a couple hours before we decide to watch, we'll say, well, what are you watching? And, somebody will throw out a couple movies and we'll hone in on one.
Okay.
And sometimes
I just don't really watch
comedies.
I just usually don't watch like horror movies or anything. Like I will if it's like a group activity, but like that's usually not my pick.
It's a great way to watch those movies that you like normally would never do.
Right. Yeah. I get it. If someone was to play you in a movie, who would it be?
Oh man. Probably Leslie Nielsen.
You knew that already. You were ready with that one. You're like, oh, Leslie Nielsen.
I mean, like, you know, he well, besides being dead, but he was a serious actor who could also do really funny things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Airplane is a fantastic movie. The early Naked Gun movies were great.
Mm-hmm.
So how could you go wrong?
It's a good pick. I wasn't expecting that at all. All right. What is a food from a movie or a TV show that you would love to try?
Oh man. What was that?
I had a good one for this yesterday.
That movie with is it Ralph Fiennes, where they make the smash burger. Like, I'll have to look it up.
But there's a movie where they make a good smash burger that you really like?
Yeah, he like plays like a super big time chef. And The Menu.
Oh yeah, because doesn't she request there's just a basic cheeseburger or something at the end?
Yeah, like it's a fancy, you know, restaurant, and then they go and murder everybody.
Right. I never saw that movie because I don't watch horror movies, but I know of that movie. I know of that thing.
Yeah, it's a really great looking hamburger.
I thought of one the other day. Like my original go-to when I thought of this question was the steak from Matrix. But the other day I saw a clip and I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted that meal, which was the steak and mashed potatoes from Twister. When they go to Aunt Meg's or whatever, and then they're all sitting around the table and she has like the beef and they're doing like mashed potatoes and gravy and everything. And I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
I thought you were going to say the old 96er from The Great Outdoors.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, where he's just sitting there trying to eat it, sweating. Yeah. I've been in that position. I've been in that. We went to Honduras for Gildan, and then it was like this thing. They knew I wanted like the biggest steak on the menu or whatever. And they made me order it, and I had it, and it was just like, before the steak even came, I already had like a loaf and a half of bread, like salad, like all this stuff. So by the time the steak came out, I was already full. And then I had to eat this like massive, like 72-ounce tomahawk or whatever the hell it was. And I was just like, super meat sweats by the end of it.
You would have let everybody down if you didn't finish it?
No, yeah, I was going to finish it. Like for my own personal, I want to eat this. But like in those settings, it's like, it's not fun anymore. It's not comfortable. I'm just eating meat to eat meat.
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot of those, like, you know, like the ratatouille, like eating that meal.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff like that I always see now in movies, like everything Brad Pitt's eating in like the ocean movies, because he's eating in every scene. It's just like, oh, that looks good. I want to have that too.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that.
He's always eating.
I love food and cooking, but like I don't often think about it in like from movies.
Yeah. Well, there's certain ones too that you watch, because I watch a lot of behind the scenes in a lot of movies and like stuff on YouTube or whatever. And it's like, newer actors won't know that you're not really supposed to eat the food, or you're not supposed to eat a lot of it, because they're going to do 20 takes. Or there's all these ones too. Like, I think Jason Sudeikis was saying he was in a movie early on where he had to eat chicken wings, and he just said he had to eat like a fuckload of chicken wings because he was like, he just kept eating them. And it was like, dude, I think he said he was sitting next to Paul Rudd or whatever. He's like, what is wrong with you? You're going to have to eat like so many chicken wings now.
It's such a new guy like scenario of like,
well, they just let him do it too, because they're like, you're fucked. Like, you're gonna have to do this. All right, top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Oh man, I would say like several movies that we've watched in that list, like The Thing, like the original Thing, going back from, I don't know, 82 or whatever.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Yes,
so good.
It's one of the best movies ever made, for sure.
I remember I went into watching Barbarian, which you don't watch horror, so
I know the movie, but I wouldn't watch it.
I would recommend you watch it. Like,
that's the one with the basement, right? Yeah.
I was blown away by it. Like, that was such a good movie.
Like, good as in like actually a good story, or like, this is crazy and whatever.
No, like good is in such a good story, and you know, also crazy. But like my wife doesn't watch horror movies, and she watched it and she enjoyed it.
All right. Maybe I'll check it out. I'll add it to the list. That's what I've been trying to do. Like, we've been trying to add movies to the list that we watch, me and Christina, from me asking this. So you got The Thing and Barbarian.
We watched Bottle Rocket, like in
Bottle
one of the
Rocket's
early
great.
Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah.
It's like everything that's good about Wes Anderson before he got super arty.
I was going to say that was like one of his early movies, like one of his first ones, isn't it?
Uh-huh. I watched it and I didn't even realize like I quoted things from that movie all the time that I've just like picked up in pop culture. There was like 3 or 4 things that I use all the time. And I was like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. All right, number 4.
Napoleon Dynamite is still a classic.
God. I quote that movie all the time. Like, and I always when I want like a back rub or a neck rub or whatever, always like, oh, can you rub my neck meat? Like, I always say neck meat from that movie.
And like, if somebody gets it, then you're like, oh yeah, like we could be friends.
Right. Like, if I just say neck meat to a random person, they're like, who's this fucking weirdo talking about neck meat? But like, or like tot, give me some of the tots or whatever, or like any of those things, take it off some sweet jumps.
I went back and watched it a couple months ago and it still holds up. Like,
it's amazing. Great. It's great. Yeah. Tina, you fat lard, stuff like that. I love that movie. It's been in my collection for a long time. Nice. I do want to ask you one more because we've been in this movie thing. It's been good. If there was, if you could erase one movie or TV show from existence, what would it be?
Oh man, can I just say like most reality TV?
Yes, that's what I would say too. Trash TV, like the Kardashians.
I mean, there's just like there's enough real drama in the world. Like, why do we have to manufacture drama to put on TV?
I agree. Yeah, there's a ton of that stuff, like Big Brother and fucking Kardashians and Jersey Shore and like all these other shows. And like, I have zero interest in watching any of this.
Like anything that's on Bravo or
it's also not real either. Like, it's not even remotely real. They're scripting everything.
Yeah. So maybe that's a bad answer, but that's what I got.
No, it's good. I like it. All right, dude. I appreciate you doing this with me. I'm glad we have some more similarities than I thought we did before we started this with a lot of things. So I definitely want to keep in touch and talk more about some of those things. But let me know next time you guys want to watch a movie. I'd love to hop in and just kind of see what it is.
Yeah. Once I coordinate, if I coordinate something for this week or next week, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. All right, dude. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.